Estimation of phosphate. The total phosphate content of the body is about 600 grams, out of which 85% is present in the bones, 15% present in the soft tissues, and less than 1% is present in the serum. In the blood, phosphate is present both in the organic form and inorganic form. The organic form of phosphate is present in the cellular elements of the blood, while the inorganic form of phosphate is present in the serum, either in the monovalent form or the divalent form. 10% of the inorganic form of phosphate in the serum is bound to proteins, 35% is complexed with sodium, calcium or magnesium, and rest is free in the serum. Though blood contains both organic and inorganic phosphate, what we estimate in the clinical laboratories is the inorganic phosphate present in the serum. The normal range for inorganic phosphate in the serum is about 2.5 to 4.5 milligrams per deciliter. This level of phosphate is maintained in the blood mainly by the action of parathyroid hormone and vitamin D. When the blood level of phosphate increases, parathyroid hormone gets stimulated, which causes phosphaturia, that is, excretion of excess amount of phosphate in urine, thereby normalizing the phosphate levels in blood. When the phosphate level in the blood decreases, vitamin D comes into role, which increases the intestinal absorption of phosphate, thereby normalizing the phosphate levels in blood. Now, how do we estimate phosphate in our clinical laboratories? It is mainly by Fiske-Subbarao method. There are two ways by which phosphate can be estimated. In one way, phosphate is combined with ammonium molybdate in an acidic medium to form ammonium phosphomolybdate complex. This complex is a colorless complex whose absorbance is measured in the UV range at 340 nanometer. The absorbance at 340 nanometer is directly proportional to the concentration of phosphate present in the sample. The other way of measuring phosphate is combine phosphate ions with ammonium molybdate in an acidic medium to form ammonium phosphomolybdate complex, which is a colorless complex. This colorless complex is reduced to molybdenum blue. Molybdenum blue is a colorful chromophore, blue colored chromophore, whose absorbance is measured at 620 nanometer. The absorbance of molybdenum blue at 620 nanometer is directly proportional to the concentration of phosphate present in the given sample. So this is the principle behind estimating phosphate. Now how do we do the procedure? Take 3 test tubes, label them as blank, standard and test. Add 1 ml of reagent to all the 3 test tubes. To the blank test tube, add 10 microliters of distilled water. To the standard test tube, add 10 microliters of the standard solution. To the test tube, add 10 microliters of the sample. The concentration of standard solution that we commonly use in laboratories is 5 milligrams per deciliter for phosphate. So, after adding the reagents and the sample, mix the test tubes well and incubate the 3 test tubes at room temperature for about 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, measure the absorbance of blank, standard and test. What you get is OD of blank, OD of standard and OD of test. Now, what you want is the concentration of phosphate present in the sample. Now, how to convert this absorbance into concentration? This is by using the formula OD of test minus OD of blank divided by OD of standard minus OD of blank into concentration of standard. Just by substituting the values, you get the concentration of phosphate present in the sample in milligrams per deciliter. What is the reference range for phosphate? As I said already earlier, the normal range for phosphate in the adult is about 2.5 to 4.5 milligrams per deciliter in serum. So, the normal range of phosphate present in blood in the children is 3 to 6 milligrams per deciliter. The phosphate is quite high in children when compared to the adults. This is due to the influence of growth hormone. So, estimation of phosphate in the urine. We don't collect spot urine sample for phosphate estimation. What we collect is 24-hour urine sample. This is because phosphate showed diurnal variations. It is highest in the late mornings and lowest in the evenings. Due to this diurnal variation in the excretion of phosphate, we collect 24 hours urine sample for phosphate estimation. The normal range of phosphate in urine sample is about 0.4 to 1.3 grams per day. So, why do we estimate phosphate? To diagnose certain clinical conditions. So, in certain clinical conditions causes decreased phosphate levels in blood. If the phosphate level in blood decreases below 2.5 milligrams per deciliter, the condition is called hypophosphatemia. So, when do we get hypophosphatemia? For this you need to know the normal phosphate homeostasis, which is phosphate present in the diet gets absorbed into the gut, into the bloodstream. From the bloodstream, it is either deposited in the bones, soft tissues, or the excess is excreted in the urine. So, when there is a decrease in the absorption of phosphate or increase in the excretion of phosphate or shift of the phosphate to the intracellular compartment leads to hypophosphatemia. So, when do we have increased excretion of phosphate? In conditions such as hyperparathyroidism. Parathyroid hormone causes phosphaturia, as I said earlier. So, when the parathyroid hormone level increases, increased amount of phosphate is excreted in urine, leading to hypophosphatemia. Then use of diuretics. Diuretics are the drugs that is used to excrete the excess amount of water in the body. So, certain diuretics causes increased excretion of phosphate ions in urine, then it causes hypophosphatemia. Then decreased absorption. Vitamin D will increase the absorption of phosphate from the gut. In vitamin D deficiency, this absorption is decreased, therefore the level of phosphate in blood is decreased. In phosphate binders will cause hypophosphatemia. For example, antacids. Antacids that we use commonly contain aluminum hydroxide, which is a phosphate binder. This aluminum hydroxide will form insoluble complex with the phosphate ions, so that the complex cannot be absorbed from the gut into the bloodstream, thus retarding the absorption of phosphate from the gut, causing hypophosphatemia. Intracellular shift. In conditions such as alkalosis, there is hypophosphatemia, and the mechanism is when the blood pH is increased, the enzyme, which is phosphofructokinase, the enzyme of glycolysis, gets stimulated. So, there is more glycolysis, therefore more number of ATP is produced. Since phosphate is required for the production of ATP, the demand for the phosphate inside the cell is increased. Therefore, phosphate is shifted from the extracellular compartment into the cells. So, the blood level of phosphate is decreased. Since blood is an extracellular fluid compartment, the phosphate level in blood is decreased, leading to hypophosphatemia. Insulin. Even insulin causes hypophosphatemia. The mechanism is similar. Insulin will accelerate glycolysis, therefore increases the production of ATP. Therefore, the demand for phosphate inside the cell is increased. There is shift of phosphate ions from the extracellular compartment to the intracellular compartment. Therefore, decreased phosphate ions in the extracellular compartment, which is blood, leading to hypophosphatemia. Hyperphosphatemia. When the phosphate level in blood is more than 4.5 milligrams per deciliter, then it is called hyperphosphatemia. the conditions causing hyperphosphatemia is the urinary excretion is decreased, when the absorption is increased, or the shift of the phosphate ions to the extracellular compartment. In these three conditions, the phosphate levels in blood is increased. So, when urinary excretion of phosphate is increased, when there is renal failure, and in conditions such as hypoparathyroidism. In hypoparathyroidism, the excretion of phosphate through the kidney is decreased, causing hyperphosphatemia. An increased intake of phosphate in the diet also causes hyperphosphatemia. This is more common in the newborns or neonates because cow's milk contains high amount of phosphate. Neonates with immature kidneys are unable to excrete the excess amount of phosphate, leading to hyperphosphatemia. And use of certain enemas which contains phosphate also leads to hyperphosphatemia. Enemas are the drugs which is used to relieve constipation. Chronic use of phosphate enemas to relieve constipation leads to hyperphosphatemia. And shift of phosphate ions to the extracellular compartment leads to hyperphosphatemia. This happens in acidosis. In acidosis, the enzyme phosphofructokinase is inhibited. Therefore, the rate of glycolysis is decreased, production of ATP is decreased. Therefore, the demand of phosphate inside the cellular compartment is decreased. Therefore, there is shift of phosphate ions from the intracellular compartment to the extracellular compartment, that is blood, which leads to hyperphosphatemia. Thank you.